please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Good afternoon, you're with Halftime Report. I'm Sumaira Abdi and with me is Nigel D'Souza. And well, it is not a good day of trade. Yesterday we thought the going was tough. Well, guess what? Today the going is even tougher, and it's tough across the globe. So we've seen a rout in the US market, Asian markets have tumbled, and our own markets have taken a hit right from the get-go. Although we did see those 1,200 points cut on the Sensex. So, you know, there's some recovery from the bottom, but we're still down 1,000 points on the Sensex. The Nifty is down 300 points. The mid-cap index, where, you know, some individual names have actually seen very deep gashes there. The index is down 600 points and the banking stocks 800 points. So we're waiting by now for PNB to declare numbers. And Nigel, what a day to be declaring numbers,
Absolutely,
right?
Sumaira. Now, what a day to be declaring numbers. And as Sumaira said, the Asian markets are under pressure. I'm a little more fearful because the European markets, the futures are there. They're indicating a cut-off from 3.5 to around 4%. So let's keep an eye out on that market as well. Yes, those are those Asian markets all down. The Shanghai market, in fact, was outperforming. Suddenly, in fact, that market's taken a bit of a hit. The FTSE, the CAC, as well as the DAX, all the futures, they're indicating a sharp cut just to kickstart trade. One more factor is the advanced decline ratio. Well, at one point of time, there were only 50 stocks that were advancing, at least that number, you know, looking for positives. So at least around 120 stocks are now advancing for around 1,980 stocks that are declining. Then we're waiting by for those numbers that will come in from PNB. But for the time being, I think we can focus on a couple of other numbers. Greaves Cotton, that stock, in fact, is on our radar. After the company posted a steady set of earnings in the third quarter, they've clocked in a growth of around 11% on the top line. There's an exceptional gain of around 22 crores. That as well has aided the profitability. We're currently joined by the MD and CEO of the company who joins us now. Hi, sir. Thanks so much for joining in. Well, the revenue is up by nearly around 11% on a year-on-year basis. Is that sort of a growth sustainable?
Based on our strategic focus, I think our top line has grown 11% quarter on quarter. And this is part of our strategy of focusing in on our automotive clients, as well as making sure that our other businesses, whether they are aftermarket, the generator set business, the farm business, are also growing significantly. So we look forward post GST and demonetization for sustained momentum going forward.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon to you. So the bottom line this time is driven by this 20 crores in terms of an exceptional that we've seen. So can you explain that? And also a word on your gross margins that have remained weak this quarter. What is the outlook there? Is there any room to expand, say, your EBITDA margins to about 14%?
If you look at it, our EBITDA has grown year on year, if you look at it, right? It's at the end of the day, our EBITDA has improved from last year. And when it comes to material cost, due to the commodity inflation, there was a 3% delta, right, due to commodity inflation, which we expect sometime second half of next year to hopefully improve. But what really helped us is a lot of tightening of overheads, a lot of tightening of expenses, really good cost reduction exercises at the company, which really made us recover more than 2%. So net, our EBITDA is up compared to last year.
Well, Mr. Baswanhalli, the cost efficiencies, that's what supported your margins. But tell us about the exceptional gain as well. That's aided your bottom line. Give us some kind of outlook for the next fiscal FY19.
There were some surplus, one-time surplus exception sale. That's what you're talking about when it comes to the exception, right? And then in terms of the outlook itself, like I said, our strategy now, over the last 18 months, we're focused on building the capability, building the technology and our partners. We have brought in a strategic focus to the company in terms of our businesses, whether they are mobility, farm, energy, or aftermarket. Our new initiatives like Greaves, Care, and multi-brand part sales are kicking into gear. And you're going to see a lot of the other product announcements in the Auto Expo as well. So fiscal 19 looks promising. We're just going to watch the commodity prices. We're going to have a tight control on costs as we continue to do that. And we are very optimistic as we go forward.
Okay, so you spoke about strategy and product announcements soon. Could you tell us a little bit more about that? With the new CFO, how is the strategy now changing? Are you planning to enter, say, the hybrid or the EV space?
When I take a step back, Greaves is known for its brand, scale, and capability, right? So to that, what we said was we brought in very capable people. Along with that, we brought in technology partners, basis the last year's strategic alliances that we have struck with a couple of technology partners, both here in India and abroad. Then we also, what we bring is the scale. We make an engine a minute, and we understand the end consumer when it comes to the total cost of ownership. In the last mile transportation segment, the total cost of ownership and the consumer preferences and what that consumer needs, right? So we continue to remain focused on the value proposition to that customer. So our R&D efforts, our technology, our new products. So hence we have, in the area of mobility, we have laid out the fuel agnostic powertrain solution strategy. What it means is, in addition to be a diesel player, a dominant diesel player, we will also be in petrol and CNG with a very competitive product. We will also be in hybrids, and we'll also be in electric. So clearly we have a multi-pronged strategy. We will be ready for the market as and when the consumer preferences change. I think our offerings will be on a multi-layer basis. So hence we feel, from an organization standpoint, from a technology capability scale, because we can bring the Greaves Cotton scale to bear when you look at the suppliers or look at the manufacturing capability or even the engineering or the R&D capability. So I think that's kind of what we believe on the mobility side. In addition, when you, so we'll definitely look at this powertrain fuel agnostic solution strategy as we go forward.
Well, Mr. Baswanhalli, how is demand in the industry? The big question is, when will pricing improve in the near term, given the increased competition? And also, sir, I wanted to ask you, have you added any new clients of late?
We are really grateful. We've been able to continue to get commitments from our OE partners, and we remain grateful for them for our business, ongoing business today, as well as for BS6. Our customer commitment for our BS6 offerings is a vote of confidence, and we will continue to invest in the technology and being a solutions partner to our OEs as we go forward. And so we'll continue to keep doing that.
Okay, and finally, any M&A plans? Because people are expecting some consolidation in your sector. So are you looking to participate?
We at Greaves Cotton are blessed with a solid financial balance sheet, right? So we have the strength of our balance sheet. We want to make sure we make the right decisions for our shareholders, and will continue as and when the opportunities come in. We are continuing to invest significantly in the businesses, and we will continue to look out for investments in the businesses as and when the right opportunity comes in.
Okay, so not entirely ruling it out. Thanks very much for joining in, and all the very best for the rest of the year, the last quarter. Well, that's the word coming in from Greaves Cotton, not entirely ruling out any sort of M&A, but the management says they are looking to get into the hybrid as well as the EV space. So
markets are still trading with a cut of around 300 points on the Nifty. The Sensex is down close to around 1,000 points or thereabouts. Well, just keep an eye out on a couple of these stocks. Suntech Realty, pull up the intraday chart over there. That's been a big multi-bagger. Now money's been taken off the table. Pull up the intraday chart over there. V2 switch gears as well. Let's pull up the intraday chart over there. That as well is moving lower. So some of these big outperformers, they've doubled, triple your money. V2 switch gear, and even Dilip Bilkon, now that's down close to 13%. I remember that stock moving very, very rapidly from around that 300 all the way to around 900. So even that stock should come up for you on the screen. Just take a look at that, moving lower as we speak. Bhushan Steel, by the way, after seeing the sharp correction in the last few days, that one in fact is seeing a bit of a bounce as we speak. Maybe in the next few days we could know who exactly would get possession of that asset, and that could explain why that's moving higher. But JSW Steel, after a superb set of numbers, the stock has moved from 305 to 280. It's moved to the low point of the day as well. So keep an eye out on that one. But talking about earnings, PNB, that's going to be declaring its numbers anytime now. Abhishek has been waiting by patiently. Abhishek will get the numbers shortly. I believe, that meeting is just over as well. But for the time being, tell us what can we expect?
Well, Nigel, the entire focus will be on asset quality. So slippages below 3,500 crore will be positive. Last quarter also it was at 3,460. Now, one of the analysts, that is IDFC Securities, is pegging slippages at 4,500 crore. Remember that PNB got in about 6,315 crore of capital in Q3 via QIP raising and also via their stake sale in PNB Housing. So, and government has committed about 5,500 odd crores of capital through the recapitalization plan. So overall 11,800 crore of capital will flow in PNB in H2 FY18. Loan growth in double digits will be positive. Now they have been reporting domestic NIMs. So that was at 2.6% in the previous quarter. Any improvement over there will be positive. Gross NPA, which was at 13.3% in the previous quarter, any improvement on that front will be positive. Our polls suggest an NII growth of 10.5% on a YOY basis, while net profit due to lower base in Q3 FY17 is seen an uptick of 169%. To give a fair comparison, on a quarter-on-quarter basis, our polls suggest an NII growth of 2.7%, while net profit to be largely flat on a sequential basis. Back to you.
All right, Abhishek, thanks very much for that. So we'll wait by for PNB numbers. Meanwhile, one of the big reasons for the fall, of course, it's global in nature, but a lot of investors are blaming the reintroduction of the LTCG tax. Here's more from our chat with Finance Minister Arun Jaitley.
जेटली जी, इस बजट का गेम चेंजिंग ऑफर जो था, ये नामो केयर के रूप में आपने इस वक्त सामने रखा है। आपके ऑपोजिशन पार्टीज का कहना है कि ये इन्होंने सिर्फ एक जुमला है, सिर्फ 2,000 करोड़ इसके लिए बजट किया है। अब सुनने में आया है कि आपने इसमें 12,000 करोड़ रुपए की बात की है, तो ये एडिशनल 10,000 करोड़ और कहां से आएगा?
देखिए, इस बजट में मैंने एडिशनल रेवेन्यू मेजर्स की बहुत गुंजाइश रखी है। 24-25 लाख के बजट में से 10,000 करोड़ निकालना कोई इतना असंभव काम नहीं होता। स्कीम शुरू की जाए, उसके लिए 2,000 करोड़ का मैंने प्रावधान किया है, लेकिन एक बार उस पर जब ज्यादा साधन चाहिए होंगे तो हम बजट में से देंगे। अब जो मैंने 1% सेस लगाया है, 11,000 करोड़ मुझे वहां से मिल रहा है। लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल गेन जैसे ही आगे बढ़ता है, पहले वर्ष में मुझे 20,000 करोड़ की उम्मीद है, और अगर दूसरे तीसरे वर्ष तक हम पहुंच जाएं तो जो एग्जेम्प्टेड इनकम थी जी, वो 3,67,000 करोड़ थी लास्ट ईयर, तो 10% के हिसाब से 37,000 करोड़ तो वही बनता है। तो इसलिए अगर सरकार साधन चाहे तो साधन इसमें जुड़ सकते हैं।
Well, we're struggling on the Nifty, but we're at least holding on to the 10,350. So that's good news, signs of stability. We would like to see more of that. We're waiting by for the European markets to open up as well. But for the time being, I think what we can do is